Your thumbnail determines whether your folktale gets 10 views, 10,000 views, or even millions. Before anyone even listens to your folktale, they see your thumbnail first. And if it doesn't spark emotion, mystery, or curiosity, your story might never get clicked. Welcome back to Learn with Emnet. I truly appreciate every one of you for tuning in. Now, here's the good news. Creating captivating, scroll-stopping African folktale thumbnails doesn't have to be hard. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, I'm going to show you a simple, stress-free method that actually works. And here's the secret no one is really showing. AI can create most of your thumbnail for you without you having to write complicated prompts. It's like having a helper that brings your vision to life almost instantly. If that sounds good, come in, let's dive in. I'll show you 2-3 platforms that make this process super simple. Why thumbnails matter for African folktales. Before we move into the practical steps, there are a few important things you need to understand. Your thumbnail is the first point of contact with your audience. A strong African folktale thumbnail communicates emotion, culture, drama, and mystery at a glance. When people see fear, love, jealousy, wisdom, or danger in a thumbnail, they become curious and want to hear the story behind it. How to develop a thumbnail from your story idea. Always start by understanding the main message of your folktale, the central character, the strongest emotional moment. Pick one powerful scene or emotion, then translate it into a clear visual using strong facial expressions, simple composition, and cultural elements that spark curiosity. This helps viewers instantly understand what the story might be about, without confusion. Try multiple prompt variations. Never depend on just one prompt. Create multiple variations by changing mood, characters, setting, art style. This allows you to test different visuals and choose the thumbnail that performs best. Don't worry, I'll show you the exact formula and practical steps shortly. Best AI tools for African textures and visuals. There are many AI tools that can help generate African textures, patterns, and visuals, such as DALL-E 3, Midjourney, Bing, Whisk AI, and Google Gemini, including models like Gemini Flash Image or Nano Banana. These tools can turn simple text into custom African scenes, motifs, and thumbnails. Add bold text to your thumbnail. Optional but recommended. If you're adding text, use 2 to 4 words max. Choose big, readable fonts and make sure the text color contrasts with the background. Text should support the image, not overpower it. When should you design your thumbnail? This depends on you. If you already know exactly what you want, you can design first. But the smartest approach is story first, thumbnail later. Why? Your thumbnail should reflect the core emotion or lesson. Designing too early can lead to a thumbnail that doesn't represent the story well. After the story is done, your prompts become clearer and more accurate. One formula that works for all African folktales. Whether your story is funny, scary, clever, mysterious, cultural, village-based, or modern, this method works for all styles. Now, let me show you the practical steps. Step 1. Develop your thumbnail idea with ChatGPT. I go to ChatGPT and say, "Hi, I need help designing a YouTube thumbnail. Can I share my thumbnail idea with you?" ChatGPT responds, "Of course, go ahead." If you don't have a thumbnail idea yet, you can share your story idea or just your story title. You may understand the message of your folktale, but not exactly what the thumbnail should look like. This is where AI helps bridge that gap. It takes your story idea or title and turns it into visual suggestions, scenes, and compositions you might not have thought of on your own. Now that I already have a clear thumbnail idea, I'll go ahead and paste it into ChatGPT.
The idea is about a romantic couple standing face to face, smiling warmly at each other. The man gently adjusts the woman's hair in a loving, natural gesture. Slightly behind the couple, there is a jealous-looking woman dressed vibrantly, making a subtle jealous gesture, and so on. One very important thing your thumbnail idea must include is character positioning. This is extremely important. For this demo, I clearly stated that the couple should be positioned on the right side of the frame, while the other woman should stand on the left side, slightly behind the couple. If you don't clearly state character positioning, ChatGPT may not include it properly in the thumbnail description or the generated prompt. When your idea is not specific enough, the AI will arrange the characters in its own way, which may not match your vision. That's why you need to be very clear and intentional about what you want. Also, it's not mandatory that the characters in your story must be the exact same characters used in your thumbnail. The purpose of the thumbnail is to capture attention and emotion, not to retell the entire story. So now that I've shared my thumbnail idea with ChatGPT, you can see that it has converted the idea into a prompt. However, I won't be using this prompt, and this brings me to the next step. Step 2. Using DALL-E the smart way. After I paste my thumbnail idea, I open a new chat and access DALL-E. To do that, click on GPTs, select DALL-E, or click Explore GPTs and search for DALL-E. You will definitely find it there. Now that we have the model open, one beautiful thing about this platform is that it allows you to chat with the model naturally. I'm not pasting any prompt or long instruction at this point. I simply make a request. So I say something like, I want to create an African folktale YouTube thumbnail. What details do you need from me to generate a high-quality, click-worthy thumbnail? And here's the response I get. DALL-E tells me that to generate a high-quality thumbnail, I need to provide information such as the title or theme, main characters, visual style or mood, setting, and so on. At this point, you might be wondering if you have to answer all these questions. Don't worry, there's an easier way. This is where understanding how to work with AI becomes important. AI itself is a tool, and learning how to use it properly is part of the skill. And this brings me to the next step. Step 3, the description formula, very important. After DALL-E tells me all the requirements it needs to generate a high-quality thumbnail, I copy all DALL-E's requirements and paste them back into ChatGPT in the same chat where I shared my thumbnail idea, along with this instruction. Please generate the response based strictly on the thumbnail idea I shared. The image should be realistic and lifelike with high render quality and fine details. Include all professional render qualities, but avoid a cinematic style. Important tip: avoid the word cinematic if you want bright, clean images. Cinematic often darkens the image or adds heavy contrast, which may not work for thumbnails. What are render qualities? Render qualities are the elements that make an image look studio finished. They include photorealistic, ultra-sharp, bright natural lighting, lifelike textures. This step is critical. Once I paste DALL-E's requirements and the instruction into ChatGPT, the AI generates clear, structured answers based on my thumbnail idea. At this point, the AI has full context about my vision, how I want the thumbnail to look and feel. I call this approach the description formula. Instead of struggling with long, complicated prompts, you simply describe exactly what you want and the AI translates your description into something the image model can understand. So now, I take all the AI's responses and head back to DALL-E. I set the aspect ratio to widescreen 16:9, perfect for a YouTube thumbnail, then paste the response and hit generate. The AI begins creating the thumbnail. It even generates its own prompt based on my description. Let's give it a moment. And here are the images.
Wow, look at this. So clean, so vibrant. The second image matches my vision perfectly. This model really knows how to paint. However, even though I asked for realistic, it has a slightly 3D look. No worries though, we can easily fix that by trying a different art style. Next, I wanted to test more variations, so I picked an art style from the presets above the chat box. I went with oil painting, set the aspect ratio again, and hit generate. Check it out. Wow, this one looks even more realistic and detailed than before. The colors pop, the textures feel lifelike, and it perfectly captures my vision. Now, the first image is still usable, but it added an extra character in the background. No problem, that's easy to fix. I click on the image to refine it, use the selection tool to highlight the object I want to remove, type remove, and hit generate. And just like that, the extra character is gone, cleanly and without any glitches. Seriously, this is why having the right AI workflow makes thumbnails so much easier. I hope you're already picking up some value below. Let me know in the comments.
Next, let's generate one more thumbnail. I typed something like, I want to generate a thumbnail with a mermaid and a student in the sea. What information do you need from me to do this? It responded just like before, asking me to provide details for title/theme, characters, mood, setting, and more. I copied that list and pasted it into the same ChatGPT chat where I had already shared my new thumbnail idea about the mermaid and the student. I added, please generate the response based strictly on the thumbnail idea I shared with you. The image should be realistic and lifelike with high render quality and fine details. Include all professional render qualities. After sending, ChatGPT returned structured answers for DALL-E requirements. I copied those and pasted them into DALL-E and hit generate. The image looked great, but I wanted more variations, so I tested an oil painting style. You can experiment with other presets later. Wow, the result was stunning. The second image matched my vision perfectly, though it created a white teenage girl, even though I hadn't specified skin color. If I wanted a dark-skinned girl, I could fix it easily. I clicked on the image to refine it and typed, replace the teenage student in the image with a realistic African teenage girl. She should have brown skin and natural dark hair, and so on. DALL-E generated the image as requested, but it added extra hands. No worries, this is fixable. I added another refinement. Adjust the seam so that the mermaid's hands are gripping the back collar of the teenage student. The student's own hands remain completely free, stretched wide in shock, and so on. And just like that, I got a perfect result. Why does this work so well? It's because I'm communicating with my AI assistant, ChatGPT, in the same chat where I shared my thumbnail idea and the issues I encountered with DALL-E. ChatGPT helps me create refinement prompts to correct any errors. Here's the end result. It looks amazing. Next, I tried a safe, normal prompt, and the image also matched my vision perfectly. Keep in mind, generating images like these can sometimes trigger DALL-E's content policy if your wording isn't precise, so always choose your words carefully. Now, I have multiple thumbnail variations to test and see which one performs best on YouTube. Thanks to this description formula, every image matches my vision. And don't forget, always download your images. How to get access to this model? Some free ChatGPT users do have access to DALL-E, but it's limited.
Only 4 images per day, with 2 images per generation. If you want more, you'll need ChatGPT Plus. For those who don't have access to this model or can't afford ChatGPT Plus right now, don't worry. I'll show you another platform you can use. Using Microsoft Designer. First, let's go back to the DALL-E requirements for our first thumbnail. I copied and pasted them into ChatGPT in the same chat where I shared my thumbnail idea, along with this instruction. Please generate the response based strictly on the new thumbnail idea I shared with you. The image should be realistic and lifelike with high render quality and fine details. Include all professional render qualities. ChatGPT returned answers based on the thumbnail idea I shared. Then, I copied that output and turned it into a concise version that works perfectly for Microsoft Designer. Before we proceed, it's important to note that Microsoft Designer is not a chat-based platform like DALL-E, but we can still use the same description formula there to get great results. Now, head over to your browser, search for Microsoft Designer, and sign in with your Google account. Once you're inside, click Create to start creating images. You get 15 free credits per month with 4 images per generation. Set your aspect ratio. For thumbnails, select Landscape. Then, paste in your thumbnail description and hit Create. Let's give it a moment. Before using Designer extensively, I recommend testing your prompt or thumbnail description on a free platform first. This helps you see how it performs before spending your credits. The images are ready. Let's review them one by one. About 2 of the images match my vision perfectly. I can easily add text on the thumbnail to explain what's happening in the scene. Honestly, these images look so good even without a detailed prompt. Now, let me try using a prompt so you can see the difference. I go back to ChatGPT to get a prompt, paste it into Designer and hit Create. Let's hold on for a moment. As you can see, the image couldn't be generated because it likely triggered Microsoft AI guidelines. I'm not surprised. Generating thumbnails like this using a prompt can sometimes trigger AI content policies. Even if you try rephrasing your words, you might not get the result you want. This is why it's often better to use a thumbnail description instead of a prompt. Simply describe exactly what you want in the thumbnail and let the AI handle the rest. Trying Microsoft Bing. We can also try Microsoft Bing. I used the same thumbnail description from Designer, not the prompt, set the aspect ratio, and hit Generate. The result was great, almost exactly what I envisioned. Even with Bing's text limit, it gave a usable image. To save it, simply right-click and select Save As. The smartest way to create African folktale thumbnails. The easiest and most effective method is to use the description formula instead of a prompt formula. Simply describe exactly how you want your thumbnail to look and let the AI handle the rest. That's it. For simpler scenes, using a prompt can sometimes work fine, but for more complex thumbnails, especially those with multiple characters, emotions, or detailed settings, the description formula consistently produces better results. I hope you got tons of value from this tutorial. If it helped you, drop a comment, give this video a like, and share it with other creators struggling to make viral thumbnails. To stay connected and never miss tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe. Until next time, keep shining, keep creating, and keep growing. Thanks for watching.